Hello, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Today, I will discuss what is PHP and what PHP can do. Para ito sa mga beginners na kasi mula pa lang mag-aral ng web programming. So, I will show you and I will share to you what PHP can do and what are the basics and what you need to start programming using PHP. So in this tutorial, we will start now. Basically, you can visit the site php.net, so you can view, read some documentation and some versions that PHP released. So here we will check first the version. So currently the version is the release is 7.1 in this time of recording. So but yeah, 7.1 is the latest one. No, there are 7.3 version of PHP, but I'm not sure if this is stable. Parang hindi pa to stable. So anyway, since we are beginner or newbie with this programming language or with this web programming language, we'll start first from the basics. Okay, so let's visit the documentation, and then you'll see there are types of what do we call the languages that you can use. So of course we will use English for this recording. So this is the manual. Ito yung manual ng PHP. So don't forget guys, this is php.net. So ito yung official website nila. Okay. And here, okay, so there are a bunch of need to discuss here about PHP, but of course we will start from the basic. Okay. So introduction. So let's get started. So what is PHP, right? So let's visit this one. I will just use this website because it's already given. So I will just explain to you, but not in the detailed way. Straightforward lang ang pag-explain ko sa'yo para mas madali. And then we can start with how to install the PHP and so on using using Windows 7 or Windows 10 and Linux version. I will show you to you also kung paano mag-install ng PHP sa Linux environment nyo. But currently in my recording, now I'm using Windows 7. But this is only my virtual box. Okay? So what is PHP? So the meaning of PHP, as you can see, it is a hypertext processor. So usually ginagamit ito sa in a general purpose of scripting language, usually from using web development. No, if you like to create your own website, or if you like to create a basic page, so you can use PHP. So like Facebook. So Facebook is I think their main web language they use PHP, but of course they are using some kinds of languages that they integrated to the Facebook application. Yep, but since start they are using PHP, Facebook, and I think Wikipedia is also using PHP. So you can also research, guys, if you like to check kung ano yung mga websites na gumagamit ng PHP. So you can research in Google if you like. Okay. So ito yung basic representation ng yung introduction ng example, no? So as you can see, I assume also na alam nyo na kung paano gumamit ng HTML, CSS, and basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because we will be going to use that one when we are developing a basic example or basic programming using PHP, like this one example na to. So it's using HTML form, and then using PHP inside the form, right? Inside the HTML. So, ito yung PHP, no? So, basically, instead of a lot commands, so we have it's like a server-side programming language ang PHP. So, ang client-side naman is yung JavaScript, no? So, server-side, because you need server to run PHP, you need to host it, like your website, you need to host to your server or to other server. So, yan. So, what can PHP do? So, let's check. Actually, anything you can do in PHP, no? So, as it's stated here, but it's focused on scripting in server-side scripting. Yep. So, you can do also command lines scripting. So, it's here. And desktop application, there are, I'm not sure, but it's stated here that there are PHP called PHP JTK, which you can use PHP in desktop application, but I did not try that one. Hindi ko pa na-try yan. So, maybe you can check that one. Ito yung website nila. So, let's check the website. So, this is the website. Right? But you can check all the documentation. Maybe we will visit it someday. We'll check. Hindi ko pa na-try ito. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed. So, ito yun. PHP is commonly used in web application, server-side scripting, and then yung JavaScript naman, yun yung tinatawag na client-side scripting. So if you want to build a program like your website or your blog, of course, you need to use PHP plus HTML plus JavaScript, and then of course, if you like to save your information, like you're saving some post, then you need to set up also the MySQL for your database. You can use other databases, no? Not only MySQL, but you can use other, what do we call this, other database. Okay, so there are wide range of databases you can use in PHP. Supported nila. So MySQL and other databases that you can use. I think I'm not sure, but there's a lot you can use database for PHP. Okay, so scripting side yung issue ginagamit. Usually it's for web development yung PHP. At yung sa kabila naman, by the way guys, PHP is an open source. Okay, so you can use this one for your application, or also to your project or to your customer project. So you can use that one. And sa kabila naman, so when sa Microsoft, they have ASP. So they're using that one also for the web. But you can also use that one. You can also use PHP if you like. This is open source. I think ASP is not it's open source, but there are some packages that you will pay to do, especially if you're building a big project using ASP. So I prefer to choose PHP because it's open source, and there's a lot of example dun sa web tutorial for PHP programming. So it's easy to learn, easy to understand. Okay. So that is PHP. So what do I need? Of course, ano kailangan mo if you like to learn PHP, or if you like to build a project. So you need of course, you need PHP. If you store data, you need MySQL. And then if you of course, to run PHP, you need server. So you need Apache to run your PHP in your computer. So you need those. And of course, you need also HTML, you need JavaScript, and so on. CSS, of course, to look presentable yung website mo. So you need those kinds of stuff to make entire website. So Okay, PHP naman guys, it's of course, the extension file name niya is .php. Extension like for example, Microsoft Word extension file name nun is docx or doc or doc, something like that. Okay, so for PowerPoint, like we have .ppt and so on. So for PHP naman is .php, and for JavaScript, we have .gs and so on. So those are the file extension. So malalaman mo if this file is a PHP file because of the extension file name. So .php means ito ay isang PHP file. So again, what do I need? Of course, you need server, Apache, PHP, and then MySQL for your databases. And then so on, those stuff, CSS, JavaScript, and so on. Okay? So, let's move. So, ito yung example, the first example. So, create a file like hello.php and so on. So, yep. So, ito yung basic niya. So, as you can see, the example is the file contain HTML tags, and then inside here is PHP. As you can see, there is an open tag and then the closing tag of PHP. It means that sa loob niyan is your PHP code. So, meaning this one is a PHP code because it's inside the open PHP and closing PHP tags. So, that's how you identify that this part of line of block or this line of code is a PHP code, and this line of code is JavaScript code, something like that. We will cater later on the JavaScript. So before that, we will just discuss the basic for PHP. And then the output naman guys, ito yung output niya. Of course, in the web page, you can view or you can see the PHP code. It's already converted. It's already processed, so it's been processed now, and it becomes the tag and then the hello world text. So, but in your sides as a programmer, so you will see this kind of stuff. Okay, so the file is hello.php. So as you can see, it's .php ang file extension niya. Okay, so ito yung basic. But before that, before we start coding, I will also show you on how to set up in your Windows 7 and Linux later on in my other video. I think next video of this. So that's next. So we have also super global variables, guys, like server, right? So these are the variables useful to PHP, like get, post, server, and so on. So we will cater that later. So those are called super variables. So for example, this is a dealing with forms, but in this case, user used a super variables which is called post. Of course, a variable could start with, in PHP, the variables start with $sign. So if that start with $sign, meaning that is a variable. So that is PHP variable. So post. So yeah. So he used form. So in this example, user wants to submit name and age, his name and age. Okay, so he wants to submit it to the file name action.php maybe, and the method that he want to use is post. Okay, so that's part of the global variables. Maybe he want to save age, name and age here in this action.php. So once user click submit button, and then it will be automatically submitted to action.php. And then, but in this case, in this example, he just print the name and the age. So in his file action.php, so meron siyang code na ganito, and then echo, and then the display would be, hi Joe, you are 22 years old. So this Joe is from the form that he submitted. So this one from this, and also the age is from this one. So, and this part of line of code is that is the action.php file. So inside that file action.php is this code, and it just print the value. Later on, I will show you in actual coding and how to deal with those basic codes. Okay, so these are the basic. Others are the super variable, guys. Get, we have post, we have cookie, we have session, request, and so on. Okay, so if you like to submit, for example, I will for example, login forms, right? If you are using, if you in Facebook, you enter your email or your username and password. In that part, since that is very vital sa account ng user, of course Facebook will not use, or other application, especially if login forms, they are not using get, because get is very visible to the URL. Makikita mo sa taas yung submitted information mo. So usually, and they use post because it's hidden, so it's hard to detect. So since it is a vital part, of course you are entering your username and password, no, to avoid hacking or to avoid some alam nyo na. So they will use post to secure your information. So but if just a simple page, if just a simple information that you like to get, you like to display, then you can simply use get. Like for example, you like to display a basic name or just a basic information of the page, and you can use get to do that. Okay, so I will show you. Cookie, of course, cookie they usually use sa login. If you will notice, merong remember password yung login forms nyo, usually they use cookie for that, and I will show you how to do that also. Server, and you can use that one later on with the URL and so on. Okay, files, environment, request, yep, to get URL request from in your page, so you can use that one. And then session, of course, for logins, for accounts, that if you are already logged in to that account, if you notice that some website after few hours or 1 hour, or depende sa website kasi yan automatically mag-log out yung account mo. Okay, so because I think the website or the programmer wants you to be signed out after 1 hour, after 2 hours, no? So you can use session for that. You can global variable session because you can use that one to your entire website. So magagamit mo yan. So kahit anong page pupunta ka, like sa Facebook, if you like to go to pictures, if you like to go to your my account, so you are still logged in, because they're using session. But one session is clear, or one session is or what they call this one is removed, automatically malalag out ka sa account po. So I will show you on how to create that one, how to create login form, how to log in, how to handle session, and so on, in our next videos, in our next tutorial. So we will start with a very, very basic for now, and then so on. So after this video, I will show you on how to set up your environment using your Windows operating system, or your Linux operating system, any Linux operating system. For Windows 7 or Windows 10, I think that's the same. So I will show you on how to do that. Okay, so those are global variables. We will encounter those soon, again, those variables in our future videos. Okay, so I think that's all for this video. Yeah, those are the basic for PHP. So PHP, again, what PHP can do, of course, usually it's used for web development. It's used for if you're like creating your own website, your own blog. Not only that, you can use also for that for big projects, like online inventory system, or online payroll system, and so on. You can also use PHP for mobile application. So as a server side scripting, okay. So and then for example, this is your mobile, and then in your mobile application, yung ginagamit yung sa mga cellphone nyo, Android, if you like to register, once you submit the form, it will automatically save. Yun, depende na yun if they are using ASP, but if PHP, yes, the PHP is in the server side, and then your mobile application. So once they submit the data, it will be stored to the server. So once they want to retrieve the data, then the mobile application need to fetch the data from the server. So something like that. I will show you that one. There will be a lot of videos coming about this tutorial. Okay. Mobile. We will also go into mobile programming, and then we will integrate PHP to that. Okay, so to handle data, fetch, retrieve, delete, and so on. So with that, and then of course, those are the things that you can do in PHP. And before that, before you can do some coding in PHP, of course, you need to set up your PHP in your local environment to start with. You need editor. So maybe we will just use a basic editor for now, because there are lots of editor. When I say, well, editor means yung ginagamit mo sa pag-code, like for example, PHP Storm, Sublime, and there's a lot of PHP editor in the web which you can use. There are free, there are paid ones, but of course we will just start with the free one. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and then we will catch in our next video. Thank you.